Bugün 7. ayının 1. günü dünyavi karakterlik ilip verildiğin Xitayning Millatlar İttifaqlığı ve Taraqqiyotni ilgiri surish qonuniga qarshi Sidneyda o'tkazilgan namoyishga jamiyatimizning bosh kotibi Mehmet Chalabchi efendim qatnashib so'z qildi. Buning uchun Mehmet Chalabchi efendiga alohida jamiyatimiz nomidan, Avstraliya Uyg'ur jamiyati nomidan rahmatimizni bildiramiz. Rahmat.
Support us! Support us! Support us! Support us! In Tibet! In Tibet! In Tibet!
Thank you kindly, everybody. First of all, I would like to congratulate the Tibetan community for coming with so many numbers here to show their opposition to the so-called the unity law. This law matters not just for Tibetan people, but also Uyghurs, Inner Mongolians, and Hong Kongers. Despite its name, this law is not a law of ethnic unity. It is rather a law about forced assimilation and transnational repression. Also, this law is not new. The effects of the law is not new. It simply legalizes existing policies. The ethnic unity campaign has already been implemented in Tibet and East Turkestan for many years. For example, Uyghur and Tibetan languages have been removed from education, and Mandarin has become the single language. Also, the boarding school system has been expanded immensely, and children of Uyghur and Tibetan background are taken away from and separated from their families. The systematic state efforts unfortunately weakens religion, culture, and identity of those communities. In other words, this law is simply provides a legal framework for policies already in practice. The objective is not diversity, it is assimilation and extinction. For God's sake, if an type of animal or plant becomes extinct, or if they are in danger of being extinct, then there's a lot of outrage in the world. Now, nations, cultures, languages, religions are in danger of being extinct, and are we going to stay quiet? Especially this so-called Article 63. It is a very dangerous aspect because it specifically legalizes transnational repression, because it extends beyond the borders of China. This means peaceful human rights advocacy just like this could be labeled as criminal. The impact on Uyghur, Tibet, Inner Mongolia, and Hong Kong people in diaspora would mean they would fear to speak publicly like this, participate in protests just like today, and advocate for human rights. Also, many people in the communities of those Tibet, Uyghur, Inner Mongolian communities have already been silent for a long time because their relatives are threatened. This law also creates a climate of fear for intellectuals, journalists, activists, and all diaspora communities. European Union has raised their concern, and the Australian government also raised their concern with the Chinese authorities. They also raised their concern in the United Nations Human Rights Council. We believe Australia should be very concerned because this law may, in effect, affect Australian sovereignty, independent sovereignty, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and protection of Australian and diaspora communities from foreign intimidation. We believe no foreign government should determine what we, the Australians, can say on Australian soil. In a sense, this law represents another erosion of international rules-based order. As Australians, we ask our government to publicly condemn this law, continue raising this matter with Chinese authorities and United Nations Human Rights Council, and protect the diaspora communities, Tibet, Mongolian, Uyghur, and Hong Kongers from foreign interference, and ensure that Australians can advocate freely without fear of being intimidated. I end my speech by saying, real unity cannot be built through force. Real unity respects diversity, protects cultures and languages, and allows every people to preserve their identity with dignity. As Uyghurs and Tibetans and Hong Kongers, we will continue to speak peacefully, lawfully, and fearlessly for those whose voices have been silenced by the Chinese authorities. Thank you.
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet! Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow! Free Yellow!
저는 사실 때문에